That is a complete shit show. I am Turch, and with me is my co-host, the Grand Mufti of the podcast. It's Kieran.
You.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, and Turch, today is a very auspicious occasion.
Oh, yes. Well, I did notice today you came in and you did have on your Deakin University jumper on.
Which has made... I wore this on our very first podcast that we did over 4 years ago.
Yep.
In the year that we had 92 listens.
Yes. What a year. What a year.
Where we were out in my garage doing the podcast.
And the sound still sounds shit now.
Yeah. And in one of those podcasts, Turch, I may have mentioned something about a spoon.
Oh my god. Okay.
Could you just tell the listeners
Jeez.
what I may have said?
I think episode 10.
Uh-huh.
You came across.
Yeah.
And we were discussing potential merchandise for when we do become famous from this show.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I think we both agreed, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be fantastic if we had a commemorative spoon with the podcast logo in the top, like you would those teaspoon collections,
Yeah.
those commemorative teaspoons, like they used to have them for Princess Diana's marriage and all that sort of fun stuff. The Queen had some. Wouldn't it
You
be
travel
funny?
overseas, you collect your spoons,
you know, people have like a spoon collection. It's like this trinket that no one really needs or no one really wants, but somehow at least one old woman that you know, most likely an auntie. It's never your actual mother. It's always an auntie that has this spoon collection. And I said, wouldn't it be funny, like every time we had a guest here, we presented them with
a spoon. Yeah.
And it just sort of, and people can buy them for merchandising purposes. But yes, that's basically the backstory. And since then, since episode 10, we're episode 163, I think this one is. 4 years later, basically, we're still waiting for the first batch of
first
spoons.
batch. Well, Turch, like I said, it's a very auspicious occasion today. I feel like, the stars are aligned, the moon is aligned. It's Trump's trying to get back onto Twitter. He's getting the courts involved.
Excellent.
So Turch, I've wrapped it up. I've wrapped it up very beautifully.
It's a male wrap for a male wrapping job. You've done fantastic. It's got a bow on it and everything.
Now there's two, and one's for me, one's for you.
That's fair. This is like our glasses. Is it the glasses that I got you?
Now I decided teaspoons are a little bit not useful.
Right.
Okay. But I'd like you to unwrap this, please. Please tell them how I've wrapped it.
This is beautifully wrapped. Yeah. No, this is the kind
that has been washed as well.
Oh, I was gonna fake the fact that you wrapped it up like a woman, but no, it's wrapped in a fucking towel. It's washed. It's COVID safe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Okay, here we go. You can hear the. Oh goodness. Okay, I'll present you yours as well.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna say so. It is a spoon, tablecraft, beautiful piece of silverware here, and not on the handle of the spoon where you would put the commemorative part, but on the ladle part of the spoon, it does say, "We only do one take podcast." Which is fantastic. So after you sip,
you can be reminded.
You can be reminded. This is the podcast for me. This is fantastic. You did it. 150 episodes or so later.
I'm a very effective CEO, Church. I get things done.
We bloody got it done. I can't believe it. This is going to be brought to us everywhere, every single event, and I will pull this one out. And hopefully, I'm hoping that just like the glasses, which you've broken both of them, this is now a collector's item. And I hopefully in 6 months, I will have the only spoon.
That could be very rare. A very rare spoon.
It's already rare. There's one of two. So I'm very happy to have this. I'm gonna put this. Look at that. That's going
Knowing me, I'll use it in the dishwasher. The name will probably disappear, and
Yeah, I do want to know how dishwasher safe that actually is. I would like to see the outcome on your end.
And it doesn't even look like I wrote it in with a texter, which
No.
some people will be thinking.
No, it's a proper printout. I don't know what the font is called, but it's a fancy looking font. And again, you have to look at it in the right light so you don't see your own reflection in the spoon, because it's a shiny spoon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a perfectly well crafted spoon with our logo on. I'm very proud. This is a collectible right here, right on the.
Oh, it's gone. This is the equivalent of your pool room.
This is my pool room with all of my junk, cables, all that stuff.
I just want to say that it is. You've got a picture of you and Jess, and you've got a picture of you and Jess again, and you've got a picture of Baby Dweezil. My spoon is higher up on the board than Jess and Dweezil. That's how much you appreciate the spoon.
That's true. It's up there. I mean, it's not like there's more Dweezil at the top.
Oh, hang on.
And Jess at the top.
All right, there's two.
And there's a Slinky Dog, and then there's also the
I am the rose between two thorns. That's what the spoon is.
That's right. It's amazing. It's there. That's how much the podcast means to me. Not only do I edit the show, prepare the notes, and do everything for the show and go on other shows for this one here to try and develop it, but I also put the spoon that you put together second shelf. That's a out of the three.
I'll take second out of third shelf.
That's pretty good. I am very impressed. I can't wait till one day. I'll have to take a photo and put it somewhere. Because I need to document this.
There are going to be listeners from the very beginning going, holy shit, I can't believe this actually
real.
happened. Yeah.
Well, hopefully people will now go back to listen to episode 10 or something to see with the origin of the spoon conversation. And if anyone is game enough to go through all the episodes and find out every time we mention the spoon, there's $10 in it for you, for sure.
And a spoon.
Fine. You can take Kieran's spoon.
I better give it to you then. Otherwise, I'm going to lose this. No, very exciting. So cheers.
Cheers. Well done. We bloody did it. After all these years, we finally have commemorative spoons to our name. Mm-hmm. Very exciting times. Oh, fine. Kieran, I don't really. I think today is going to be a bit of a subtly different episode than what we're used to doing, because what we have is in store for everybody is a okay, just getting naked over here.
Sorry, it's very hot wearing the jumper in this room. Yeah.
What we do have today is the first of hopefully other episodes. We always love conspiracy theories.
We do love
and we thought what we do is we do a conspiracy theory fight. Like we both bring in one that it's not like the standard ones, like 9/11, all that sort of fun stuff. Stuff that's a bit off the beaten track, and try to convince each other of how accurate it may or may not be. So we've got that coming up definitely in the show. But what we usually do is the rants, and I've already got a story rant involved in all of this. So here's the thing. Jess and I don't, especially me, I don't think that trans women athletes should compete against other women. That's just a belief that I hold. So again, it doesn't matter what sport. We've got obviously that.
What about chess?
No, because chess is like you can play against anyone.
Right. Okay.
But specifically,
so we're talking physical competition
sports,
where
competition
biology
matters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So like MMA fighting, for instance, like there's a new transgender MMA fighter. There's a transgender weightlifter. There's that Australian transgender woman who plays handball, who used to play like AFL.
Handball is a real competition?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it's full on.
Yeah.
So like all these sports, I'm like, okay, trans women I don't think they should, because there's obviously a physical difference between men and women. And no matter how much estrogen replacement or testosterone.
So maybe there should be another gender category in the competitions.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I'd be happy. Yeah. I think I'd be happy with that. It's just one of those things. And people go, no. All the people that are against what I've just said go, no. There's no difference between the physicalness of men and women. Now, I know that not to be true. Obviously, men have far more muscle capacity, bone density, strength. The type of skin we have on our hands is actually different to what, like, just the subtle makeup is.
Our hips are different.
Our hips are different.
Yeah.
The body shape is different. Like, one's definitely built for additional muscle mass, and one's built for making babies. Like, at a very basic level. But people go, no, there's no difference. No difference between men and women. I'm like, okay, then. Let's, you know what, I agree. Let's just go, I've said, and this is where I was. I don't think I've said this on the podcast. I was writing a bit for the podcast. I agree with that. There's no biological difference in men and women at all. The difference is that trans women are smarter than regular women, and that's the unfair advantage.
That's the unfair
the
advantage.
Mental game. They're smarter than regular women, and that's why they keep winning all these events. Not because they can run faster in a running race. They're just smarter. They just know how to do it. And that, you know, if women had the man brain.
Yeah, right. I think Borat said this, didn't he? Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told this. I always run things by Jess to see if this is funny. Just like, it's not really that funny. I get it. I'm gonna work on it a little bit, but I can sort of see, like, there's a formation of a joke there where you go, oh, women are all, you know, that's they get outsmarted by men in the sports. You know, they can keep up physically, but if only they had the brains. You know? Yeah. Funny, right?
It's funny. You'll get there. You'll get there.
Right. And I thought, I'll push it to a side, and, you know, I'll work on it.
Just on a side note, hilarious. I'm talking to my brother the other day.
Yeah.
And he's finally he's gone, what does this him thing mean on emails? And I was like, oh, it's nouns.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even know what a noun is. Let alone what the hell is a pronoun.
Yeah, it's a bit like
Which
that.
is hilarious because he's a paramedic.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that he was on a job and he didn't know. He said he had this patient who he wasn't sure if they were. He said they were in the middle. Wasn't sure whether they were transitioning to be female or transitioning to be male.
Yeah, just ambiguous.
And then because he was getting the nouns wrong.
Yeah.
The person was a mental health patient was like losing the plot. And then, you know, this patient's yelling at him, you're getting my nouns wrong. And he's still there going like, that was hilarious. Speak to him. I don't even know what a noun is. like what the hell is a noun? And then I'm just like, that's hilarious because there's people in our society who, when you're back at school or like you had to underline nouns and verbs and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a period, I know what they are now.
Yeah.
But 3-4 years ago, I'd be like, what the fuck's a verb?
If you don't do it
I cannot remember this.
On a day-by-day basis.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to what I was saying. Like, you know, I said the jokes were, hey, you know, it's the mental game for women. And I said, no, Jess. Jess is like, no. That joke isn't funny. No, I'll work on it. You know? And then I was going to bring it in here and talk about, like, you know. Okay, an article came up.
Oh.
Report. Trans athletes retain psychological advantages over women.
Oh, okay.
A comprehensive UK report into transgender participation in sports determined Thursday trans men who identify as women retain distinct psychological advantages when it comes to competing in the female categories, even if they suppress testosterone levels. So,
wow.
I make this joke saying, no, men are just smarter at sports. And that's why the trans women keep winning. And then 3 weeks later, science comes and goes, actually, you're right.
You're on a point.
And then I show this to Jess and she goes, that's not even funny. I go, it's hilarious. Because I've been writing this joke for a couple of weeks to bring into the show. And now science has gone, actually, Turch, you are right.
You're on the right path here. Keep going with that joke.
You know what?
That is a sign to keep going with the joke.
Now you can't even write it. It's not even a joke. It's just science. Which makes it funny to me because the science crowd, you know, across the board are like, oh, you got to trust the science. Got to trust the science. Well, I'm trusting the science, and trans women are smarter than the regular woman.
Oh. I think we should have the We Only Do One Take podcast sport competition.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It's going to be every single category. So we're going to put short men and then tall men.
Yeah.
And then tall women and then tall trans women. And we're going to do... everyone's going to win a medal because there's going to be so many categories.
So no one's getting a participation award.
No, they're going to get the first place.
It's just, you'll get first place at something.
Because you will be the only competitor in your division.
Yeah.
The individual is...
Can I say, when I moved over from Perth to Melbourne, I was in grade 4 and had to do footy day parade.
Yeah.
And I go for the Fremantle Dockers. Mm-hmm. Over here in Melbourne, no one goes for the Fremantle Dockers.
Very limited.
Right. The 12 of us meet at Young and Jackson's pub in the city and go into the game, when they play here in Melbourne. That's how few there are. And that was the first time I sort of realised that how things could be rigged. Because as the only Fremantle supporter, I had to do the parade thing around, everyone's in the gym, all the school kids, and you walk around in a circle.
Mm.
And all the Collingwood supporters, which was like 6% of the school, only like 5 of them got lollies or like the free prizes that they chucked out. Yeah. Because I was the only Fremantle supporter.
Winner!
I got the football, I got the chocolates, I got the candy.
I do remember.
And that was when I was like, you know what? We need to rig these events. This is very good.
My primary school had a significant number of people who were of Italian descent who weren't big football fans. So we used to all rock up in like Italian soccer. It's like, football, beautiful, yeah, beautiful.
You said football. We're here in our football uniforms.
Here we go. We're ready to... And that was pretty good. I was like, rocked up in my Italian jersey and stuff like that. Always good to have a little bit of cultural diversity at your football days.
That's right.
You know.
Well, we've been to the soccer together, you and I.
We have.
Seen, I don't know who we saw, but we saw
Melbourne City.
We saw Melbourne City play.
Yeah.
Who did they play?
I think they played Perth. I think that's why we went.
Oh, Perth Glory.
Yeah. I think Dan came with us as well. So there's a couple of Perth boys and
possibly. I think I might have just been drinking.
We did drink quite a bit. It was quite a good time.
Yeah, I'll be taking you.
We're gonna go to the rugby.
You next year to the rugby.
I'm pumped
because I haven't paid for any of the tickets, but there's 4 tickets. My dad and his friend both have bought 2 tickets each.
Yeah.
So there's 4 tickets.
Perfect.
And then sometimes my dad doesn't go or Barry doesn't go. So there's 3 tickets left over.
It's a perfect system.
It's a great system. I get to go to the rugby and I don't have to pay.
Perfect.
And then I can take some more people to the rugby.
And I'm sure you've got good seats. I'm sure they've got like...
Oh, no, they're very good seats.
They're very good
seats, yeah. We're not doing the peasant thing that you took me to the soccer because it's the same stadium.
No, but...
Soccer's
about drinking.
We are in the premium section.
Well, look...
Actually, I think anywhere in Amy Park is actually pretty bloody good.
It's all pretty great.
Yeah. Even if you're in the nosebleed sections.
Hey, I like sitting behind the goals, though, because I can hear the fans chanting at each other. I like that. I like that atmosphere. I like that roughened... So that's a very European atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Whereas at the rugby, where we sit, there's... actually, I hope it's in the same section, because last year and the year before, there's a whole bunch of like 10 guys that are diehard rugby fans who just yell all the fucking banter out.
Yep.
And it's hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm always up for rowdy sports people. I'm up for flares. I'm up for all that. I love watching that shit.
There's no flares at rugby.
Yeah, I know, but soccer does.
There's only I think the rugby crowd only fills 12% of the stadium.
Yeah, well, so does soccer.
Well, it's good.
Soccer's great. It's like, oh, here's your seat, sir. Where would you like to sit? You can sit in any seat that you choose. There's no... they're all available.
I like it because when you leave, you're not in a fucking,
Yeah.
And when you want to go to the bathroom, you're not queuing.
No line,
Yeah, it's
Oh, have you got some news for us? Do you want to do your news?
I've got a reverse rant. I realised it is a reverse rant.
Okay.
And I'm not the person to be ranting. Daylight savings is upon us, where the clock has moved forward an hour.
Daylight savings time.
And the microwave is always one of the last do-backies to be changed. That with also the car clock.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, but yes.
Clock, right. So yesterday, I go, you know what, Kieran, you're a very smart person. I'm at the microwave. I'm going to put the microwave forward an hour.
You did it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock now. I'll change it to 5 o'clock. Then tomorrow, don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It is
done.
Done. Anyway, later in that evening, I see that the microwave clock has been turned back an hour.
Okay.
And I'm going, now, did I set it correctly?
Yeah.
Did I not set it? No, I'm pretty sure I changed this. And then it occurred to me, blasphemy occurred. One of my housemates had changed the clock back.
Uh-huh.
And I was then called because we have a cowbell in the house that, you ring the cowbell for airing of the grievances.
One day we're going to get more into that. that just opens up more. It's like, oh, there's another door.
And a grievance needed to be aired. You understanding me here,
I get
Church?
the grievances, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You needed to discuss the grievances. I
That's
get
right.
that,
And
There was you couldn't even wait to Festivus. You had to get it out
it
now.
had to be dealt with now. And I said, the clock's been changed. It's been moved back. And it was, because that's not the correct time. But I said, tomorrow, it will be the correct time.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about it then. We're not going out. No one's going out.
Mm-hmm.
We're all staying inside. Really, we don't really use the microwave clock. Anyway, I was proceeded to be told how much of an idiot I am.
Yeah.
For my forward thinking.
Yeah.
Moving the clock forward hours before daylight savings.
Right.
Really in the 6
can
months,
I-
the 6 months of the daylight that we're in. I
yeah.
was right at the finish line.
What I want to know is...
Would that annoy you, Turch, if I had gone on and the day before changed your clock?
No, because this is where I was going to go with this. If I had to look at the time, I would first look at my watch, and then my phone, and then the clock in the living room.
Yeah.
Down the list, looking at even my computer, down the list for me, maybe because where my microwave is, right? It's in the in the laundry.
Yeah.
But where my microwave is, it's sort of like the last place I look for the time. So if the time isn't right on the microwave, for me, it doesn't
Well, let's
really
just
matter.
say, because
And I know
your
you was-
microwave's hidden. So let's just say I changed your clock on your wall.
So clock on the wall would annoy me because that's like the one. Like it's also it's a centerpiece. Whereas I don't look at, like I said, a microwave is like the oven timer, for instance. Like
The oven timer is always off.
Exactly.
Right, the oven timer is always you never trust the oven timer.
That's the thing. I don't put much dependence on my knowing of the time on my microwave. Again, I have so many other devices that connect to a centralized digital.
And the microwave we have over a period of time manages to push it 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't annoy the other housemates. They don't go around going, "Oh, it's now 5 minutes early."
Yeah.
And we better change it back.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm the one that changes it.
I because of if it was the clock in your living room, I would be like, yeah, don't change it until the next day. Right. But because it is the microwave, where again, on the hierarchy of where I get my time, that's very low. In fact, probably the lowest out of all the devices in the house. I'm like, yes, you've done a job, and someone has brought you literally backwards in time, and it's been less helpful because again, my question would be how important it is that the microwave is who uses the microwave as their denomination of that's where the time
I just
is.
love it because with my housemates, one in particular, no names here, I do stupid things like the bins are always in the same, the recycling bin and the garbage bin.
Yeah.
Always, they're near the
left
kitchen.
and right sort of thing. Yeah.
But then every now and then I'll just come by and change them over. And then I notice that they're swapped.
Yeah.
Or like I move the cushions around.
I'm going to put it out there. One thing that annoys me is which way the toilet paper goes.
I didn't know this was a big deal.
Now, that's a big thing. Now, I think it goes over the front, not around the back. Yeah. Very easy.
I have never paid attention to this until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I got yelled at.
Okay. And which way do you think is the correct way?
Well, the over makes sense, but I don't really care.
Okay.
Because you just grab toilet paper.
Well, I agree it's the over because in the when toilet paper was, patent in the dispenser. Yeah. It was patent with it going over. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh well, that's how the guy invented. Like that's what he said. But people do it at the back, and I don't like that because I think it's just annoying to. Yeah. But it's one of those things like left and
I feel like next time I go to your parents' house, I've got to check out all the toilets.
Yeah.
To see which way they have been put on.
They're always over.
They're always over?
Over. My parents do the over.
They're very particular about that.
Well, I'm so too, but I've only got one toilet in this place.
Oh,
so-
I'm going to go to people's houses now, and I'm going to change the way that the toilet paper.
Someone,
That is going to be my prank. now.
Don't fucking invite that guy. I think he changed the way that. Do it at your parents. Do it at your mum's house and see what the reaction gets. See if you get a phone call or your sister's place. See, I don't think your dad's gonna give a shit. He'd be like, oh wow.
I don't think my dad would pay attention.
No, but I think if you did it at your sister's house or your mum's house, you'll be getting a text message going, hey, did something, especially if you do it multiple times.
Yeah,
like the second or third time, they're going to go, hey, actually, I'm going to have a discussion with you.
It's almost like when you go to one of those places with the jukeboxes, and I noticed the jukeboxes, you can't play the same song back to back.
Yeah.
But you can play that song, pick another song, play the same song again.
Yeah.
And then you put in like $10 worth.
Yeah.
And then you
I remember the
and you just watch people's reaction. And you're like,
Jess at the end of the night at Cherry Bar used to put in, I think it was like $2 and you get 3 songs. She'd put in $2, choose Freebird 3 times and walk out. And Freebird goes for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Just walk out 24 minutes. Really get your $2 worth.
Oh.
Just for everyone. But it's a good song, so I'm not gonna bash Freebird.
It's these are the things that give me joy in life. I've also, Church, another story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a yarn. I'm the king of fart jokes.
Okay. Well, I'll put that on the list for next week in the introduction.
I'm the king of fart jokes.
King of fart jokes. Go.
That's some good writing there, Church. In these crazy times, I had to caregive for my niece and nephew.
Oh, what a champion.
So,
Champion of the people.
Niece and nephews.
And
Gesundheit. And my niece is 10. Fart jokes, no more.
Nah, go on.
Uncle Kieran
Nah.
is now lame.
Yeah,
Uncle
lame.
Kieran was cool from 2 till 8 years of age.
Yep.
After that, I know nothing about makeup. I know nothing about whatever girls care about.
Yep.
I have no value.
Yes.
All right. So I was like, thank God I've still got a 4-year-old nephew and like a 7-year-old nephew who love fart jokes.
Good joke. Solid. Always.
And it's really easy. It's really easy to entertain them.
Mhm.
Because, Harry would be like, who's 4? He's like, guess what, Kieran? I'm like, you did the stinkiest fart in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no. And I was like, well, I get 2 other guesses before you tell me. And he's 4 and he really wants to tell me whatever he wants to tell me.
Get it.
And then I'm like, Dad has a stinky bottom.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then it's no. And then I'm like, well, Harry has a stinky bottom. And then, they're giggling and laughing. King of the fart jokes.
I'm very proud of you.
And I can just poke him and make a fart sound.
Yep.
I can actually fart and get them to pull my finger. That is a good one.
Yeah, Jess is a bit like that with her nephew.
Yeah.
And he's only 3.
Yeah.
And he's into the fart joke. So I'm hilarious.
Uh-huh.
We all knew that, though.
Yeah.
Because women aren't funny. And so Jess is...
That's because you're smarter.
Smarter.
Yeah.
It's the smartness.
In 2 weeks' time, an article will come out proving that.
Can you fucking believe it? Talk about. But it's true. The fart jokes always. But that's the thing. Like you could do we could be out at a pub and someone could say a fart joke and we'll be like, that's still. It doesn't. You start with the fart jokes as a kid and you just never get rid of them.
Yeah.
As a
male, they never seem to go. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to write a book and it's going to be now called The Fart Factory.
Yeah. Already funny.
I know, right? I'm like, this is hilarious. Because I thought, this is my premise, that you go to the fart factory to get your smell.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone has a different fart smell.
I'm digging this. Yep. Yeah.
And you got to find your fart smell.
Yeah.
And whether you're going to have loud farts or quiet farts.
Or silent but deadly
farts. Or, the different types of farts at the fart factory.
I can't wait. Can you please write this book and read it to us next week? It'd be amazing. I'm in. I'll back this book. I'll buy it for $1.
Is it just a great? I think it's just a great book. So
that would be like a 2 to 5 year old kid's favorite picture storybook. If you get a good artist and like the kids testing farts and they're like different colors and and like scratch and sniff.
Oh.
See what I mean?
I think I need you on the consultation
panel, yeah.
team here.
I'm thinking like a kid, like I wanna smell, like you know.
It's almost like you can get those lollies that taste awful.
Yeah,
I don't know why kids buy those lollies, but you buy those
it's
lollies.
like the Jelly Belly, like it's either like they're like both red,
Yeah.
but one of them tastes like dog poo, one of
Dog
them
poo,
tastes
yeah.
like raspberries or something, and it's like that. Oh, who knows, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in.
All right.
Who wants? Do you want to do some conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
stuff?
let's do some conspiracy theories.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
All right.
I'm not going to lie. I put a little bit of effort into this, knowing that you're probably going to beat me.
I've got a lot of effort into this. Okay. So my conspiracy theory is called Helen Keller.
Helen?
Rich people
Yeah.
scamming the world.
Rich people scamming the world.
Okay. So here's the thing. Helen Keller. We all know Helen Keller.
I don't know who Helen Keller is.
You don't know who
No.
Helen Keller is?
No.
Okay. So Helen Keller was an American woman.
Mhm.
Born in America.
Was.
Well, she's
Yeah.
dead now. So in 1880 she was born.
Okay.
And then 1880, after 19 months,
Yeah.
she suffered an illness.
Yeah.
And that illness caused her to be both deaf
Uh-huh.
and blind.
Right.
And at the end of her life,
Mm-hmm.
she had written 12 books,
Mm-hmm.
was a speaker
Mm-hmm.
to the world,
Yeah.
and a very staunch political activist.
Okay.
Now, amazing to think that a woman who, at the age of 19 months old,
Yeah.
could not hear anything or see anything,
Mm.
could achieve so much.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the biggest hoax the world has ever seen.
Right.
Let me go on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So like I said, at 19 months old, I've got a lot of notes.
You got a lot of notes.
This is going to be a long thing,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a bunch of things that go in together, right?
Yeah.
So she was a fraud.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. She's either... So her parents were very well off.
Mhm.
And when she was born, 19 months old, she did all these things. And for many a year, they...
It's a little bit convenient because you got someone who can't see or can't hear.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know that she's been criticised
There's a whole bunch of things.
by the world. So you throw her out there.
It's right. Exactly. So let me go. So
Yeah.
it's either two things. One, she actually is deaf and blind.
Or
Pretending. Or it's just this big scam across the board. But, so I'm going to put things in perspective. If someone today is born deaf and blind or gets, is deaf and blind
Mhm.
before, like, they actually learn how to read or write or...
Yeah.
This is the actual diagnosis. They will not be able to function in society. They will not be able to communicate.
Uh-huh.
And they will not be able to engage in normal behavior. Now, that is the recommendation of someone who is deaf and blind before the age of 2 as of 2020.
Yeah. They can learn Braille.
Well, how?
You teach them.
Okay. Now, communication is a two-part thing.
Yeah, touch.
Right. But this is the thing. If you're just blind,
Yeah.
you use your other senses to communicate, to
Uh-huh.
understand things. So if you're blind,
Yeah.
you can use audio, so you can listen to things, you can still hear people talk.
Touch.
and
They can
understand.
use touch, then senses.
Right,
Those
right,
senses would...
Great.
yeah.
But if you're deaf,
Yeah.
you communicate the other way via writing.
By writing. Yeah.
And you can, try to make, try to make out people's
Mhm.
sounds of their mouths. But if you close your eyes
Mhm.
and cover your ears, you can't hear anything.
Mm.
How do you learn
Mhm.
what words sound like, what things are?
Tersh, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally here.
Okay.
There's obviously some kind of magical powers at
Of
play.
course. So this is the thing. So she's never heard words.
Yeah.
She can't see people at all.
Mhm.
Yet she was able to speak and was a recognized writer. Very interesting
Uh-huh.
already, right?
Now, when she spoke, could people understand her?
Well, we'll get to that. We've got clips. We've got clips. Okay. So this is where a second person gets involved, and this is where the conspiracy really starts.
Ooh.
Okay. A second person. So during her lifetime, up until the age of 6, because her parents were quite well off, they were able to get her an assortment of teachers.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until the age of 6 that a new teacher named Anne Sullivan.
Anne Sullivan.
And as soon as Anne Sullivan became her teacher, suddenly she was That's why they called it the miracle worker. She was able to get Helen Keller to be a high functioning member of society, right? So let's just talk about Anne Sullivan for a bit. When Anne Sullivan was 5, she caught trachoma, which is an eye disease, which left her partially blind with no reading or writing skills at age 5. Okay? Then she did have surgery later on to help, but she then had education at the Perkins School for the Blind, and it was after her education there that she started teaching Helen Keller at the age of 20. So there's a 14-year gap between Helen Keller and Anne. Very peculiar that you would choose a partially blind person to teach a blind and deaf person. Very interesting.
But Church, when you put two idiots together, you end up getting a podcast called the We Only Do One Take.
That's true, but this is literally the blind teaching the blind here. And we all know that saying is never used in a positive spin. Okay, so this is how she taught Helen Keller. Right? Apparently, Helen Keller couldn't hear, couldn't see.
Speak. Yeah.
So the way that she would teach her was to get Helen Keller's hand on her face, on one over her mouth, one at her nostril, and the thumb at the voice box.
Yeah.
And then she would try and push out syllable sounds like
Come here, let me try that on you, Church. You know.
Yeah, we'll do it later. Right? And that's how. So she was able to learn letters that somehow, in the mind, very easy to understand words and then understand letters.
I'm calling bullshit. The English language, not even if you can see and hear, you can't get right.
Yeah, I know.
ED makes a T sound? Yeah. I don't get it.
So, that's how she learned individual
How did she learn what a noun was?
Now you're thinking of... See, you're starting to come around now. So, that's how she learned how to do things, right? That's how she initially learned to spell it. And then, the next thing is exactly right. You were saying something like, she taught Helen Keller, once learning those letters, to then sign letters in her hand. So, each letter had an individual hand sign that they would do in the hand. I'm going to show you a video. And that's how Helen Keller would sign in only Anne Sullivan's hand.
And only Anne Sullivan
could
interpret. Yeah.
Okay. So, we're going to watch a bit of a snippet of a video here of Anne Sullivan showing...
You are so excited. You are a kid.
Look at this. Okay. Hopefully.
Oh, black and white.
Black and white. This is 1900s. So this is Anne. This is Helen Keller. Look at this.
Upon the world. She talks with Helen by a finger system in which each letter has a sign, like this.
I'm not gonna lie, that just looks very gibberish.
Okay. So we're gonna do a test. We're gonna do a very easy test here right now. Okay.
Sorry, just how fast that was going.
That's no way.
Going slowly, I'm like, yeah. I could understand
That was just this hand like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna play. So what you're telling me is Helen Keller can interpret hand signals like this to interpret letters in her head to understand full sentences without grammatical anything grammatical. Now we're gonna play a game, Kieran.
Deaf people don't have grammar.
Yes.
I've learned a little bit of sign language and I love it because they don't go, please, Church, come over here.
Yeah.
They just point at you, meaning you here.
Yeah, but you can't see. See, that's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference. But do you know what I mean? Like they just get rid of all those filler words. And it's like your arsehole, which means like you're an arsehole.
So here's one. So what I'm going to play a game with you. Very easy.
All right.
The sentence is, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Right? I want you to do it instead of hand gesturing and understanding that, interpreting in your brain each letter of that into a hand signal, into my hand for me to interpret. All I want you to do is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog and just say the individual letters as fast as you can into the microphone, and let's see if anyone can interpret it.
Wait, each letter. So
Each letter individually, no spaces. Go.
Q-U-I-C-K. What was it? Quick.
The quick.
Oh shit!
You did it. Yeah.
T-H-E-Q-U-I-C-K-D-O-G.
Brown fox.
B-R-O-W-N-F-O-X.
Okay.
J-U-M-P-F-U-C-K-T-U-R-C-H-A-S-S-H-O-L-E.
So pretty close.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to put it out there. That was hard to do for a person that has all the senses and owns a doctorate level of education. Let alone a person who at the age of 19 months was both deaf and blind. Done to. So let's put that to a side, because one thing that Helen Keller was known for was her political views. And we're going to talk about that. Because it was only when Anne Sullivan came around did she start actually developing her political views. Which, coincidentally, happened to be the exact same political views that Anne Sullivan had. Who would have thought?
Oh my god, amazing.
So, let me talk about Anne Sullivan's political review. In a letter she sent from Puerto Rico, provides a rare glimpse into Anne Sullivan's political views and social options. She was opposed to capitalism and opposed to war.
Yeah.
She was a pure socialist and a complete pacifist. And surprise, surprise,
Anne Sullivan.
Anne Sullivan. Helen Keller
Yeah.
also was a socialist, wrote a book about socialism.
Wow.
And was a socialist her whole life and hated capitalism.
By the way,
Who
just
would've thought?
side note, who's your favourite fictional writer? J.R.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the one that wrote Harry Potter?
No, definitely not J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. Who's the one that wrote Game of Thrones?
I'd say George Orwell. It's probably my favorite.
Or Karl Marx?
Definitely Karl Marx. No, he couldn't even write. He used to live with his parents or something. Okay, so they both had the same political review things.
Yeah.
Very strange. And apparently, Helen Keller would do speeches in front of people. I couldn't find any footage of her actually doing a proper speech, but I do have some footage of her talking. And apparently, she would do full speeches about how socialism is good. But what she would do is she would do those hand signals into Anne Sullivan's hand, and Anne would talk on her behalf.
Oh, isn't that
Very
convenient?
fucking convenient, isn't it? Okay. There's more. One
Ooh.
of the most famous things is,
Yeah.
in The Miracle Worker, which is the film they based on her life, is the water scene.
Ah, the water scene.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
So one of the things was that apparently the first word that came out of, that wasn't gibberish, of Helen Keller's mouth was the word water. Water, like liquid. And the way that somehow, like the way that's shown in The Miracle Worker, which apparently is not 100% correct, but I'm using that as a reference point, was that Anne Sullivan was pumping water, like from water, onto Thingo's hands, onto Helen Keller's head, and Helen Keller said the word water, like, you know, like someone who's deaf would say, like, you know, a bit muddled vocabulary. And that's when apparently that she made the breakthrough, and from there she was a rising star to become this socialistic writer and all this sort of stuff, doing speeches. Now, I have a problem with this.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never heard the word water, and you can't see water, and you feel water running in your hands, and you say a word, any word, you could be referring to the actual liquid itself, the sensation of that liquid happening in your hands, the feeling of cold, or you could actually be referring to the water. But those are four very separate, completely different options. So if you put your hand under water and you go, ooh, cold, you obviously know what that means. If you go, ooh, hot, we know what that means. We go, ooh, slimy, we know what that means. But if you just say water and you have no other context, it actually doesn't mean anything.
I understand, Church. I understand.
Okay, a little bit more of how Helen Keller
Okay,
was not
so
real.
I'm just going to throw something out here. I feel like I need to do a lot more research, and maybe I'll come back next week
Please.
with my conspiracy theory.
Okay. Here's a good one here. Okay. So this is one of the
Okay,
things.
all right, people. Okay.
I know. I feel like I'm Alex Jones.
You're so
This is the
excited.
truth. This is It gets more ridiculous. Okay, here's a good one.
Can you?
I'm gonna
you
read
have
just
to do this without saying okay.
Okay. It's on to you. Okay, here is a quote.
Yeah.
A repeat.
Quote.
A quote.
Yep.
From Helen Keller. If it is true that the violin is the most perfect of musical instruments, then the Greek language is the violin of human thought. Now, let's break this down a little bit. A woman who can't hear said if the violin is, implying that you would have heard the violin.
You would have heard the violin.
Okay.
That's right.
A woman who has never learnt any other language but the...
And doesn't know that a violin actually exists. Yeah.
And then we're discussing is doing a simile to the Greek language, which he is obviously can't hear or can't understand, because the only thing she can understand is potentially English, if we're going to say that. She has made a simile to musical instruments to a language being beautiful, of human thought, which is an abstract concept. Now, I don't know about you, but abstract concepts are very hard to understand if you don't have context with them.
Church, I struggle with abstractness every day.
Okay. Do you want to hear another quote?
Yeah.
Okay. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. So, okay, let's just say you can understand physical things that you can touch.
Yeah.
So you can physically understand that what water is when you're deaf and blind. You can understand that.
And you're deaf or blind, you could learn about water because you would feel it, you would drink it.
Yes.
You would make that association.
This is a bottle. This is a table. This is what wood feels like.
I sit on this. It's. You may not know that it's called a couch, but you would go, I sit on it.
Yeah.
I feel these sensations.
Okay.
Yeah, you would actually know how to operate your environment
to a degree. To a degree.
Because you'd be relying on touch
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain to me the concept of optimism.
I don't know how. Yeah.
Someone who.
I'll put it this way. I started my doctorate, and I didn't even know what the fuck content meant.
It's definitely something. Okay.
It was one of the questions in a survey that I was putting, like, I'd grab the survey on well-being or whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck does content mean?
Here we go. Okay.
So there you go, Church. High level education here, and I didn't even know what one of those constructs
So
were.
here she is. I'm going to show you another video here. So this is her talking, right? And like I said, you can sort of see that she's sort of learning talking by touching.
So
people's
the other
face.
interesting thing is, I'm just looking at that video. Blind people, their eyes, because they can't see, they actually don't. They don't. They go everywhere.
Yeah. And she's keeping it very... So we're going to see... I'm going to show... I've got another video after this one too. But this video here is her talking and then the interpreter talking of what she actually said. I'm going to quote. And notice if you see anything strange. Because I noticed it like fucking instantly.
Right.
It is not blindness or deafness that brings me my dark hours.
It is not blindness or deafness that bring me my darkest hours.
It is the
Do you notice it?
She's not doing her hand thing.
She's talking and apparently she's interpreting. But do you notice something else that's happening?
Being able to speak
Look at their hands.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's not doing the hand thing.
But look, it's the interpreter that's pulling it up
Pulling
and
it down, yeah.
If I had only acquired my children's spirit.
Longingly I feel how much...
So it's like I think she might be able to know what some words are, but she's been treated like, oh, that means the blind people. It's almost like she's been used as a puppet.
Yeah, clearly she's been taken advantage of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's another video, and I keep doing this one because it's a joke one. I've got one more clip here.
He's got one more clip, people.
Okay. 2:10 onwards. So this is how she learned how to speak. Right? and tell me,
Yeah.
how is this even possible?
Okay.
The first word she learned to articulate was the little word it. With the hand in this position, I made the vowel I. She spelled it. I.
Pause.
Then I made the T.
In the previous video, she just went,
Yeah.
"Rah," and now this one, she's actually speaking.
Yeah.
She's actually speaking.
No, this is her trainer. This is Anne. And
No, but she's moving her mouth. She's talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see
She
she'll come.
feels it with the finger on her lips.
If she
On
was,
my
if
lips.
she was, and I mean, I've worked
Then I-
with quite a number of deaf people
Yeah.
who, in a way, have been trained to talk.
Yeah.
When they talk, because they can't hear properly, they sound very muffled.
Yeah. So let's keep on, because once you could see.
So there's no way.
So this
she's
is-
faking it.
This.
She's faking it.
So once you see Helen Keller speak on the side, so right now you're seeing Helen's hand on Anne's
Yeah,
face,
and she's
right?
got perfect
Letters
pitch and
together to form the word it.
That's Helen go.
And the first word was learned.
There you go.
After her 7th lesson, she was able to speak the sentence word by word. I am not dumb now.
So after 7 lessons, she learnt words. She repeated it like a parrot, but she had no context of what those words actually meant. So if you it's like you're telling a kid, go, hey, go to that person, and go, who's your boyfriend? They don't know what that means. Or if you tell them to say something in a different language, they don't know what it means. That could be a swear word, but they're just repeating it. And that's all this she's doing. She learnt these words, I am not dumb, but she has no idea what that actually means.
Hang on, I got the other way around. That was the teacher, and she's the
That's it,
yeah. Yeah.
But you learnt that by, you can sort of get like you can feel it.
Mm.
But there's no way in hell she may be able to repeat it like a parrot, but the understanding of what that means is non-existent. You know? So, Helen Keller, who wrote 12 books, did speeches about for socialism, this and that, all that sort of stuff. Miracle that she, again, only person in history to ever be deaf and dumb at the age of under 2 and to be fully literate and all that sort of stuff. Here you go. Only person ever. And as soon as Anne Sullivan died, remember who's 14 years older, Helen stopped doing public appearances.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped writing books.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't really communicate with
Anyone else?
many other people. And here you go. My final bit of evidence is this is Helen Keller's signature. You can see this on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's Helen Keller's signature.
Wow. That's not a signature. That's legible.
That's very legible for a person who can't read, who can't see.
A signature is got to be messy.
So I feel that Helen Keller is more like this.
Holy crap, this place is amazing! And just think, this is where Helen Keller used to eat when she went here.
Tonight, I want to go out and just get wasted. And not one of these campus bars. I want to get wrecked by a townie.
Helen, you're outrageous. I can't believe you're getting away with this.
I've been getting away with this since I was 7. Believe me, I know what I'm doing.
Good morning, girls. Helen?
Oh, that's hilarious.
So Helen Keller, fraud.
Uh-huh.
Biggest fraud in American history. And I think they were just coming out of some wars at that point in time, and they needed an uplifting story. And I think it's what America needed at the time to uplift them. But she could not read. She could not write. She was a dumb, deaf, blind woman who was used as a political pawn by a socialistic woman.
Very interesting. Church, now that I know that that's where the bar is, I'm going to go away and do a little bit more research on my conspiracy theory, and I'll bring it in next week.
Okay, that's good. Maybe we'll do one each, like one each.
Yeah, because there's no way I'm going to match that. There's no way I'm going to match that. Though I do have some news articles, Church.
All right, give us a whip around the news and let's get out of here.
I'll give you a whip around the news. Squid Game is currently on Netflix. A Korean man is being inundated with over 4,000 calls a day after his phone number was used on Netflix hit Squid Game.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, because on the card...
Yeah, I haven't watched Squid
you haven't
Game,
watched
so
it.
I
On
don't...
the card, there's like a phone number to call the people. I won't give too much away because I know you're going to go and watch it.
Yeah, I will. The first COVID patient diagnosed with restless angel syndrome is the world's first. Restless anal syndrome.
What's that?
Well, it's where you have deep anal discomfort.
Oh, I heard angel, but no, you said anal.
Anal. The essential urge to,
Poo?
Poo. But, you can't poo. Eminem surprises fans at the opening of his mum's spaghetti restaurant in Detroit.
I did see that. He was handing out spaghetti to people. He looked really happy to be there.
I didn't know there was such thing as a spaghetti restaurant.
I would be very cautious of a place that has drive-through spaghetti. Because, even the best spaghetti, even if you make fresh spaghetti takes like 2 minutes to boil.
Unless that had nanas in the back, I'm not getting any.
Some nonnas in the back.
Yeah.
I've always said I would love to open a restaurant, hire a bunch of nonnas.
Yeah.
And just go, what do you need today? And they're like, they wouldn't make this. So I'll buy just enough.
Yeah.
And then if it gets out of stock on the day, that's it. It doesn't
No
matter.
yeah.
I'll drive all the nonnas home afterwards. It's beautiful. Whatever. Beautiful day.
Last but not least, and this is the most exciting news story, William Shatner is going into space.
I do hear this.
Jeff Bezos is taking William Shatner, Captain Kirk, into space.
It's very exciting. I hope that because he's been on a couple of episodes.
He's 90.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's been on a bunch of episodes of Ancient Aliens, and I'm trying to get a couple of find some downloads of them.
Yeah.
So we can watch them together. Oh, fuck yeah. Because I love William Shatner.
Have you seen William Shatner brown paper bag?
No.
Okay, so William Shatner brown paper bag. They go for 5 or 10 minutes.
Is this the one I think you talked about before?
Yeah.
They drink wine apparently they drank it. They recorded the whole season in one
In one
and
go.
He's obviously getting more and more progressively shit-faced and red
as each episode goes. Yeah. It's fucking great.
I do know that he's a big conspiracy theory, alien conspiracy theory guy now.
Yeah.
So he's big on the Ancient Aliens bandwagon. So he's been in a couple of episodes. I want to watch him and see what he talks about. Because the original guys from Ancient Aliens, for the first season, are still there.
Good.
And now William Shatner's joined them. I just wish Jesse Ventura would join them as well. This whole conspiracy theory trifecta of
It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. So that's my news.
Oh, fantastic. Well, for ladies and gentlemen, for all your wanking needs, make sure you follow us at SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, a death threat, or a rant,
or get a spoon.
Or if you've got a conspiracy theory you'd like us to dive into, record it and email us at weonlydoonetakePodcast@gmail.com. Kieran, so good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to do another virtual show.
They're all virtual.
Yeah.
For the rest, until the end of time, we'll be locked in our houses. With that, ladies and gentlemen,
we will see you next Thursday.
I thought I'd bring in Helen Keller. You'd be like, I know a bit about her.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing.
I know nothing.
Come on, man. Motherfuckers, guys, come on. Give me the 5-star rating, baby. Give me the 5-star. That's all I want, baby. That's all I want. I'll fuck all the beautiful girls in the goddamn world. They'll fuck a 10-star. I just want 5. 5, baby. Just 5.